I'm 82 years old, 3 tours, 2 Purple Hearts, 1 Bronze Star, Sergeant First Class, retired 1987, and I'm about to tell you something I've never said out loud. Not to the VA shrink, not to my pastor, not even to myself in the mirror at 3 a.m. when the insomnia hits. I failed the most important mission of my life. You see those medals on my wall? 27 years of service. I led men through hell, lost some good ones, yeah, but I brought most of them home. I was squared away, disciplined, the kind of NCO who could turn a FNG into a soldier in 6 weeks. Command loved me. My platoon, they respected me. So when I became a father, I thought I had it figured out. I'd seen what happened to soft men in the bush, the ones whose daddies let 'em quit when things got hard, the ones who never learned to follow orders, never learned that structure keeps you alive. I wasn't going to raise quitters. My house ran like a fire base. Reveille at 600. Inspections. Demerits. My 3 kids, 2 boys, 1 girl. They had chores listed on a duty roster. Beds made with hospital corners. Yes, sir. No, sir. No back talk. No excuses. And it worked, didn't it? They were never in trouble. Honor roll students, athletes. The neighbors used to say, "How do you do it, Frank? Your kids are so well behaved." I was so damn proud. The Army saved my life when I was 17, pulled me out of a trailer park in Kentucky where my old man drank himself to death. It gave me purpose, identity, brotherhood. I wanted to give my kids that same gift. I was so sure I was doing it right. You need to understand something. I didn't do this because I was cruel. I did it because I loved them. You think that sounds like bullshit? Maybe it is. But in my mind, back then, love meant preparation. Love meant making sure they could survive anything this world threw at them. Because I'd seen what the world does to weak people. My oldest, Michael, he was 5 when I came back from my last tour in 73. Smart kid. Too smart. Always questioning orders, always asking why when I told him to do something. You know what happens to soldiers who question orders in a firefight? They hesitate, and hesitation gets people killed. So yeah, I came down hard on him. Push-ups for talking back. Extra duty for failing inspections. I wasn't trying to break his spirit. I was trying to forge it into something unbreakable. My daughter, Sarah, she was different. Sensitive. Cried easily. And I knew the world eats people like that alive, especially women. So I pushed her harder than the boys. No crying, no excuses, stand up straight. And Tommy, my youngest, he was 10 when I retired in 87. He got the worst of it. The other 2 escaped to college, but Tommy got the drill sergeant full time, all day, every day. I thought I was giving him structure. I didn't realize I was building a cage. The other fathers in the neighborhood, they were soft. Let their kids sleep in on weekends, gave them allowances they didn't earn, negotiated with them like they were equals. And I'd watch those kids grow up lazy, entitled, undisciplined. I'd think, not mine. My kids will be ready. I was so convinced I was giving them armor. Turns out I was building a cage. The first crack came at Michael's 10th birthday. We had the whole family over, my brother, my wife's parents, some neighbors, and I made Michael stand at attention while I inspected his room before the guests arrived. Found a toy soldier under his bed, out of place. Made him drop and give me 20 right there. When he came downstairs, his face was red, not from the push-ups, from shame. And I saw my father-in-law look at me with this expression I couldn't read. Disappointment, maybe, or pity. My wife, Linda, she pulled me aside later, said, "Frank, he's 10 years old. It's his birthday." And I said what I always said. Discipline doesn't take holidays. She just shook her head and walked away, but that look on Michael's face, it stayed with me. I started noticing things I'd trained myself not to see. The way Sarah would flinch when I walked into a room. The way Tommy learned to lie perfectly, tell me exactly what I wanted to hear, no emotion in his voice, like a prisoner of war giving name, rank, and serial number. Dinner was the worst. 1,800 hours every night. Everyone at the table, back straight, proper table manners. And the silence. God, the silence. I'd ask them about their day and get after-action reports. School was fine, sir. Practice went well, sir. No stories, no laughter, just compliance. One night, Michael was maybe 15. He looked at me across that silent table, and his eyes were empty. Not angry, not scared, just nothing. That's when I knew something was wrong, but I didn't know how to fix it. So I doubled down. Michael left for college in 1986. State school, 4 hours away. Said he got a partial scholarship. I was proud. Told everyone at the VFW my boy was going to be an engineer. He never came home for Thanksgiving that first year. Said he had to study. Christmas, he stayed 3 days. Spent most of it in his room. When I tried to talk to him, he gave me those same empty responses. "It's fine, sir." "Yes, sir." Then he left a day early. Said his roommate needed a ride back. I didn't see him again for 8 months. Sarah went next. 2 years later, she called Linda every week, never asked for me. Tommy stuck around the longest, but he was a ghost in my house. When he finally moved out, he took everything in one trip. Didn't even tell me he was going. Just left a note on the kitchen table. "Got an apartment. Here's the address if you need it." I drove by that apartment once. Never went in. Didn't know what I'd say. Here's what nobody tells you about being a drill sergeant in your own home. It works. It really does. Right up until they turn 18 and realize you have no authority anymore. No UCMJ, no Article 15, no way to make them comply. And then you find out the difference between respect and fear. Fear obeys because it has to. Respect stays because it wants to. My kids obeyed me for 18 years, then they left, and they never looked back. All 3 kids came to my wife's funeral a few years back. They hugged each other, they cried together. They stood on the other side of her casket and looked at me like I was a visiting dignitary they were obligated to acknowledge. Michael brought his wife and his 2 daughters. They called me sir, because that's what their father told them to say. They were terrified of me. After we buried Linda, we went back to the house, and I watched something I'll never forget. Michael was in the kitchen with his girls, and the youngest one spilled juice on the floor. She froze, looked up at him with these wide, scared eyes, and you know what he did? He knelt down, hugged her, said, "It's okay, baby, accidents happen." Then they cleaned it up together, laughing. I realized in that moment he learned exactly what not to do from me. I see other men my age at the VA. They complain about their kids visiting too much, staying too long, their grandkids running around, making noise, driving them crazy. I sit there with my coffee and my medals, and I say nothing, because my phone doesn't ring. My mailbox is empty, except for bills. You want to know what's worse than being hated, being irrelevant, being the mission that succeeded tactically but failed strategically? I won every battle, I maintained order, I created discipline, and I lost the war. If you're watching this and you've got kids, listen to me carefully. I'm not saying don't discipline them. Structure matters. But here's what I got wrong. I thought strength meant no weakness. I thought love was supposed to be tough. I was wrong. You know what takes real strength? Admitting you're scared, saying I love you without conditions, apologizing to a 10-year-old when you're wrong. That's harder than anything I did in 3 tours. My kids are strong, but they became strong despite me. Maybe even because they had to survive me, but they don't love me. And that's on me. You can demand respect through fear. Your kids will obey you. But the second they don't have to, they won't. I'd trade every medal on that wall for one more chance to do it right, to hold my kids when they were small, to say, I'm proud of you just because they existed. But I can't go back. You still can. Don't win the battles and lose the war. Go hug your kids. Tell them you love them while you still can. If this hit you in the chest, if you got kids or you had a father like me, leave a comment. Tell me I'm not the only one who got it wrong. Or tell me I'm full of it. I don't care. Just talk to me. And if you think someone needs to hear this, someone who's making the same mistake I did, share it. Subscribe if you want more honest talk from an old man who's got nothing left to lose except the truth. That's all I've got left to give.